Brace yourself for a journey into the darkest corners of our world, where fear isn't just folklore, it's tradition. These spine-tingling rituals aren't legends from the past, they're still happening right now. From blood-soaked ceremonies to nightmarish trials of pain, here are the 10 scariest rituals people still perform around the world. The bullet ant glove in Brazil. Imagine willingly plunging your hands into gloves filled with hundreds of the world's most painful stinging insects on purpose. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, the Sadaremawe tribe of Brazil initiates boys into manhood through a terrifying ritual involving bullet ants. These ants don't just sting, they inject a neurotoxin so powerful that victims often shake uncontrollably and hallucinate from pain. Boys must wear gloves woven with live ants for a full 10 minutes, enduring pain ranked 4+ on the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, and then repeat this process 20 times over several months. The belief? Endure pain without screaming and you prove yourself ready for adult life. The ritual is more than just pain, it's a trial of strength, silence, and ancestral pride. What's wild is that this isn't some long-forgotten tribal ceremony, it's still practiced to this day. And yes, the ants are drugged beforehand, only to wake up angrier than ever once inside those gloves. Number 9 is the Okipa ceremony in North America. Though less common today, some spiritual groups and descendants have preserved aspects of this extreme ritual. The Okipa ceremony, originally performed by the Mandan tribe of North America, was a brutal test of endurance and spiritual connection. Young warriors were hung by their chests from wooden poles after having skewers pushed through their pectoral muscles. As if that wasn't horrifying enough, they would hang there for hours, sometimes days, without food or water, waiting to receive visions from the Great Spirit. Then came the Dance of the Skulls, participants dragging buffalo skulls tied to the same piercings, sometimes across burning plains. Though modern laws have largely banned replication, certain symbolic and reduced versions continue among traditionalist circles in historical reenactments, keeping the legacy of pain for purity alive. This is a vivid reminder that the line between suffering and sanctity is thin, and sometimes terrifyingly blurred. Number 8 is Thaipusam in Malaysia and India. Every year during the Hindu festival of Thaipusam, thousands of devotees walk barefoot for miles while carrying kavadi structures attached to their bodies with metal hooks. But that's just the beginning. Many participants pierce their cheeks, tongues, and backs with skewers, needles, and even spears as an offering to Lord Murugan, the god of war. Blood drips freely, bodies sway under the weight, and eyes, sometimes rolled back, reflect a trance-like devotion. While it may seem disturbing to outsiders, for participants, it's an act of purification, of surrender, and of deep religious ecstasy. Though the rituals are voluntary, the devotion is so intense that some people begin preparing for months in advance with fasting, celibacy, and meditation. In places like the Batu Caves in Malaysia and the Tamil Nadu in India, this ritual isn't just a display, it's a spectacle of raw, divine pain happening right now in modern cities. Number 7 is self-mummification in Japan. It sounds like a horror movie, but it was disturbingly real, and in obscure circles, it's still whispered as a spiritual pinnacle. This ancient Buddhist ritual in Japan was the ultimate test of self-denial. Monks spent years preparing for death in a process that turned them into mummies while still alive. The process involved 1,000-day diet of bark, nuts, and roots. Then came 1,000 more days of drinking poisonous tea made from the urishi tree, which killed off internal bacteria and preserved their bodies. Finally, the monks would entomb themselves in stone chambers, meditating in lotus position until death. A bamboo tube provided air, and a bell indicated that they were still alive until it stopped ringing. Shockingly, the ritual was practiced as recently as the 20th century, and at least 24 of these self-mummified monks are still on display in Japan today, their skeletal serenity hauntingly intact. The Aghori practices in India. The Aghori monks of Varanasi, India, take the concept of confronting fear to its absolute limits. Their belief is that nothing is impure, not even death itself. That's why they meditate in cremation grounds, wear ash from bodies, and in rare cases, they actually eat partial bodies. They adorn themselves with bones and cover themselves in charred remains as they chant to Shiva. While the Indian government and local authorities discourage many of their more extreme practices, the Aghori sect still exists, and some members claim that these rituals are not just symbolic but literal. For them, embracing what they do is the fastest path to spiritual enlightenment. Outsiders might find it shocking or grotesque, but for them, fear and taboo are merely illusions meant to be destroyed, one body at a time. Number 5 is Famadihana in Madagascar. In Madagascar, death is not just the end, it's the beginning of a family reunion. Famadihana, or turning of the bones, is a centuries-old ritual where families exhume their ancestors every 7 years, clean them, wrap them in fresh cloth, and dance with them. Yes, dance. The bones are hoisted joyfully above the heads of the loved ones, accompanied by music, feasting, and storytelling. The idea is that the dead are not gone, they're simply living in different form, and deserve to be celebrated. The smell, the remains, and the possibility of contamination, all of it makes the ritual one of the most controversial and hauntingly unique. While authorities have attempted to regulate it for health reasons, it continues to thrive in many rural regions, where the dead are not feared but invited to party. Number 4 is the Kumbh Mela in India. During the Kumbh Mela, a massive Hindu pilgrimage that draws millions, some ascetic holy men called the Naga Sadhus engage in bizarre and often painful rituals to demonstrate their spiritual power. These include lying on a bed of nails, standing one-legged for days or even years, and lifting heavy objects with their genitals. Some even twist their limbs into impossible positions or bury themselves alive for extended periods. These sadhus believe that intense suffering brings them closer to moksha, liberation from the cycle of death and rebirth. The spectacle attracts cameras, tourists, and worshippers alike, and yet many overlook just how physically horrifying these practices truly are. Pain becomes performance, and endurance becomes a public affair of sacrifice. This isn't historical myth, this is modern day, playing out in front of millions every 12 years with mini festivals in between. Number 3 is El Colacho in Spain. Every June in the small Spanish village of Castilla de America, men dressed as devils leap over rows of young ones. The festival dates back to 1620 and is meant to cleanse newborns of original sin. The devils, donning grotesque masks and red-yellow jumpsuits, vault over mattresses lined with infants born in the last year. Locals cheer, priests bless the crowd, and tradition reigns. Though there are safety measures and 0 recorded injuries, the sheer risk is enough to terrify any parent. But to the villagers, it's not about risk, it's about faith, protection, and the symbolic triumph of good over evil. The ritual remains controversial, with the Vatican even questioning its legitimacy, but the practice continues yearly, drawing tourists and devout Catholics alike. It's one of the few rituals where innocence and fear literally lie side by side. The Night Marchers in Hawaii. This one's less of a ritual you perform and more of one you survive. The Hawaiian legend, the Night Marchers, are ghostly apparitions of ancient warriors eternally marching through sacred paths and battlegrounds. Locals say they still appear, especially on nights with no moon, and they follow a strict spiritual code. Look them in the eye and you die. According to tradition, if you hear drums and chanting at night, you must lie face down and avoid all eye contact. Some native Hawaiians still follow this ritual of respect religiously, lighting torches or placing offerings at ancient sites to ward them off. While it sounds like folklore, reported sightings continue, and even skeptics have shared chilling experiences: cold winds, shadowy figures, drums from nowhere. This isn't just myth. For many, the ritual of protecting oneself from the night marchers is as real as the mountains that they're said to roam. And number 1 are the scarification ceremonies in Africa. Topping the list is a ritual that permanently marks the body with pain, pride, and purpose. Scarification is still practiced among several African tribes, including the Karo, Dinka, and Nuba peoples. These aren't just simple cuts, they're deep carvings made from razors, thorns, or heated metal designed to form raised scars over time. In some religions, these patterns signify strength, coming of age, or tribal lineage. In others, they represent survival through war, loss, or childbirth. What makes this practice so haunting is the raw physical suffering involved, no anesthesia. The scars are often reopened to maintain their prominence, and in some cases mixed with ash or charcoal to darken the designs. Though scarification is decreasing due to modernization and health concerns, it's far from extinct. In remote areas, it's still a sacred, terrifying rite, a living legacy carved into human flesh. But that's it. I hope you guys learned something from this, and if you enjoyed it, leave a like, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.